Good morning, and welcome to week 16 of Deep Calls to Deep, where we're going through the 52 Hebrew words that every Christian should know. I hope this video finds you healthy and happy and blessed. And our word for today, which I love, is Talmid. And it is the Hebrew word, or a Hebrew word, for disciple. And I'll just read it from here. When I first became a follower of Jesus, someone told me I had become a disciple. I understood that being a disciple was like being a student. I needed to study the life of Jesus and learn as much about him as possible. So I did. I read books, listened to messages, and even attended a 6-week discipleship class. Years later, I learned that in Jesus' time, a disciple was called a Talmid, which can refer to a student, but more accurately refers to an apprentice. You see, while a student learns head knowledge in order to know what the teacher knows, an apprentice works with the teacher to learn what the teacher does, so he or she can imitate what the teacher actually does. Talmidim, which is plural for Talmid, didn't just attend a class or read a book. They left their jobs and families and communities to follow their rabbi and watch how he lived. They wanted to be just like their rabbi, to do what their rabbi did. So the question for us today is, are we a disciple or a student of Jesus or Yeshua? Are you doing, or are we doing what he did? Do we just know a lot about him? Do we love our neighbors and our enemies? Do we forgive those who hurt us? Do we pray for the people that have wronged us and maybe are still wronging us? Do we welcome those people the world rejects and condemns? Do we have what it takes to be a Talmid today? Will I be another student who knows about Jesus, or a disciple who lives as Jesus lived? And those are some good questions and hard questions to answer. But I think I'm going to take some extra time to try to answer those in my own life. I think we all struggle with that from time to time, or with certain people or situations or circumstances. And so in light of being a disciple sometimes being more difficult than some of those other words that we've studied, I'm going to come into a pose that may or may not be a challenge for some of you. So we're going to start on our hands and knees. And if you need to, for your knees, you can use a blanket. You may end up using this for your knees. You may end up using it for your hips. I'm probably not going to use it, but I wanted you to have one just in case. And we're going to start with your wrists directly under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And just starting with the easy part, which is just a cat and a cow, lengthening the spine, rounding the back, tucking the chin, and then inhale, arching the back, tailbone up, head up. And then I'm going to walk my hands forward. I may end up putting them on the blocks. I may not. I'm going to slide that over. But I'm going to start by sliding my right knee right in between my hands. The sole of my right foot is in front of my left thigh. Now, there can be some tightness along the hip here when that happens. I like to gently drop and lift myself back up a few times to free that area up. And again, it's not like we warmed up or anything. And then try to get that back leg as straight as you can. Your hips are facing forward. And as soon as it's available to you, you may need a block or two. Maybe you can rest your forearms on the block. If you don't need the block, maybe you can bring your forearms right to the floor. And then I want you to deepen your breath. With every exhalation, trying to soften those hips. I always feel free to rock if you need to. If it's available to you, maybe it's more comfortable or more of a challenge if you want to walk your arms all the way out. I'm going to stay on forearms for this particular video. Where are you holding resistance? And maybe it's a good opportunity to ask yourself those questions. Let's take one more deep breath here. With a slow, steady exhalation out through the nose. And then you're going to inhale, you're going to press back up into your hands. I like to hook my back toes on the mat, lift that leg up, shoot back into a plank, hold, 2, 3. Let's slide that left leg forward. This leg may not be as comfortable, or maybe it's more comfortable than the other side. Again, dropping to the hip. Maybe you have to keep a bent leg. You can adapt it according to you, what you need. Then square up those hips. When it's available to you, come on down. Lengthen the spine. If you know your Ujjayi breathing, that inhale through the nose, soft vibration in the back of the throat on your exhale through your nose. Trying to release and let go of anything weighing you down, so that we can be like him, we can be his disciples. Take one more breath here, and then pressing yourself up with your hands, let's go ahead and shoot that left leg back into your plank that you're going to hold. 2, 3, come on back down to your knees, swing your legs around. And I just wanted to leave you with one of the most important things I believe he said, which is, they'll know us by the love we have for one another. That's the true mark of a disciple. So I just want to encourage you, do what you can. Wrestle with what you need to wrestle with in your own heart. And I hope that you not just are giving the love of a disciple, but I hope that you also are receiving love from other disciples. May the Lord bless you with his peace and his power and his presence. Shalom.